This is the perfect RIA, in case you didn't know. Bringing you all the strategies to help your business grow. Are you happy? Are you satisfied? Are you hanging on the edge of your seat? Sit back and listen in while you feel the beat, yeah! Another myth bites the dust.
Hello, TPR Nation. This is Amber Keem from The Perfect REA. Thank you for joining me on today's Follow-Up Friday, where I'll be covering the highlights and action items from this week's episodes. On Monday, Matt and Mike were talking about how, with being halfway through the year, it's a great time to reflect. And even if half the year is already gone, you still have that second half to go. So you need to look at your numbers and see what you've accomplished and where you've been kidding yourself. What do you need to do to take the rest of the year to the next level? They said it's so important to do a mid-year review because you can still make changes going forward. The guys talked about the idea of 10x is easier than 2x. And while they love the book, they said sometimes you end up not doing the 2x work. They also looked at some of these numbers, going from doubling to 10xing, and questioned whether it's actually easier. And they don't believe it is. For example, going from 1 million revenue to 10 million. They said that with whatever number you're aiming for, it's easy to fall back in your routine and just do the same thing over and over again. Micah said one of the things that happens is that people get caught up in trying to find a hack for something instead of just taking the time to do the work. For example, delegation. One of the things he recommends is that you don't delegate a task that would take you longer to delegate than to do it, excluding those repetitive tasks. He said advisors get excited looking for a hack and the easy button. But instead, sometimes you just need to roll up your sleeves and do the work. Matt shared that anytime you think you found a shortcut, you probably haven't. So you need to go back to those fundamentals. Make sure that you're carving out time each week to work on your business. The guys talked about processes and how some advisors just dream that processes will appear in their office. But a way to get that done is just to record yourself doing a process. Send that to a process writer and then have them write it. That'll provide you with a written process, and you can look at ways to streamline and improve it. This is intentionally working on your business. Micah pointed out that he'll share processes with other advisors, and they'll claim it won't work for them based on one step. He said you can still use that process while making adjustments. People will get hung up on those little things, but if you're looking for a reason for something to not work, you're always going to find it. He said you need to ask whether you're looking for a magic wand that's going to fix all your problems. Or do you find something that fits most of what you need and then tweak it as needed? That's where he feels it's the 2x concept and just needing to work. When you implement those processes, you'll see dramatic growth, but it does take work to get to that point. Matt and Micah are fans of forcing mechanisms. And when they see things repeatedly not working or not being done efficiently, they need to find a way to force that to work. This happens with extreme accountability in their masterminds as well. These are the things that people know they need to do, and this dramatic thing will help them change it. Now, they said that no one ever walks away thinking that doing that was easier, but it does end up being life-changing. So you need to look at how you're using your time and what you're doing with your time. When are you in your seat getting stuff done and really focusing? And when are you setting aside that strategic time to work on your business versus in your business? The guys talked more about 2xing, which they said is a huge accomplishment in itself. But you need to look at what will be the biggest driver to 2x that you do every week. What is that lever that you pull that moves your practice forward? Specifically, that moves sales and marketing forward. And your team needs to have a part in this as well, and they need to be held accountable. When it comes to working on your business, you need to look at the real numbers in your practice. That's going to be uncomfortable, but you have to hold yourself accountable. This is where masterminds can really help when you're doing that financial undressing. The guy said it's difficult, if not impossible, to be objective about your own practice and your own money. They said it's easy for you to look at how you've always done things or beat yourself up about past decisions. So instead, look at where you need to change. What are those dramatic changes? And what lever are you going to pull every week to get you to 10x? Let's get into action items. Block out an hour each week and pick one item to eliminate, one item to automate, and then one item or task to delegate. Do your mid-year review. Schedule this on your calendar, and you need to have a process to go through and do this. Look at what changes you're going to make sure that you're going to crush the rest of the year. Lastly, sign up for the Retirement Tax Services Tax Summit by visiting retirementtaxservices.com. And for our Invictus members, be sure to sign up for our next Invictus Mastermind. Reach out to our team to save your spot. On Wednesday, Matt was joined by Ben Goss, the CEO of Dynamic Planner in the UK. Ben said he's always been interested in exploring things that he can do in his business to take us to the next level and deliver more value to your clients. Ben shared his role in the financial planning industry and about Dynamic Planner, which is a financial planning software. He got into the business because he feels that financial planning is critical no matter where you are in the world, because people need to save and invest in the future, but that people aren't wired to think about it. He wanted to figure out how he could have the biggest impact, and he decided the answer was to build software and build a company that gave advisors all the tools and technology they need to have engaging conversations. He said their mantra is that technology is brilliant and great at certain things, but it's not something that can empathize with another human being and create trust. That human-to-human connection that advisors have is so powerful. So you've got great technology, and then the advisor can focus on building the relationships and engaging with their clients. Ben feels that there's a big advice gap, and there's a good number of people who don't have the wealth to access financial advice, and then there are firms who have an advice gap where they don't spend enough time or add value to the clients who don't have a lot of assets. So with Dynamic Planner, they've helped advisors increase their client number without them having to work harder. They also make their information fun and enjoyable to use. He said, why shouldn't financial planning be engaging? He also said that you need to look at what you want to do with the additional productivity time that you have, and you need to look at what you're solving for. Is it to free up more time, or is it to bring on more clients? Ben thinks we're only scratching the surface with adding technology to advisors who are focused on creating a lifestyle practice and delivering more value to their clients. Let's get into action items. When you're looking at any software, look at how many hours it's going to save you and what are you going to do with that time. Visit dynamicplanner.com or visit Ben Goss on Twitter or LinkedIn to learn more about him. Recommit to your professional development and to learning. Lastly, Matt is going to be speaking at the CISI conference in October. You can learn more about the conference by visiting CISI.org. On Thursday, Jamie wanted to talk about toxic charity. She first said that there's 3 types of financial advisors. Those who will do whatever they can to crush their goals and make the money they want to make. Those who want to break the poverty cycle and want to give back to the community. She said most people reside where there's a mix between the first and the second, in the middle. You're goal-driven, but you care about the work that you're doing. That can also make it hard to increase fees or graduate clients. And then you can end up working with clients that you shouldn't. Jamie talked about surge periods and mini surges, which they use if they can't meet during a big surge. So how do you structure surge if you have hundreds of clients? Jamie said that instead of abandoning surge because you can't see all those clients, review your book of business. Export all your households by last name, financial planning fee, AUM fee, and by client since data. Hide all their names and then sort by total revenue that you're earning. She said you'll realize that most likely 80% comes from a very small number of clients, and the rest come from those that you think you've been doing a favor for. If you look at that list, your top 10 probably don't take up most of your time. So see how many people are then subsidizing the rest of your business. You need to look at how many people are under that number that you need to be making per client. And make sure that you give yourself rules around exceptions. You need to have an honest conversation with yourself around this. You want to treat people fairly and make sure that your clients are paying the fee that you've claimed you've set. She said you're likely giving that group at the bottom of your list less time, and you're focusing less on those than in your top 100. You're likely not delivering as much value. But if you're not talking with those people, you're not servicing them, then you should graduate those clients. Maybe you're handing those relationships off to someone else or a junior advisor or protege. Jamie warned that if you say that you're too nice to do this, then you need to create healthy boundaries. But remember, boundaries aren't to keep people out. They're to keep you in. Jamie talked more about this idea of toxic charity and summarized the 5 times that you're helping someone. She said when you first help someone, that person is appreciative. The second time, they anticipate that you'll help them again. The third time, they're expecting you to say yes because you always have, and now there's a learned behavior. The fourth time, they feel entitled to be helped. The the fifth time, it's about dependency, and you're no longer helping them. You're hurting them because they then can no longer problem solve. You need to take those lessons and look at your book of business and see how you created any of those situations. For Jamie, she has her 3 Ps in who she decides to work with. They have to be personable, productive, and profitable. You need to honor your rules, and you don't have to bring on everyone, especially when it's someone that doesn't hit that personable box. She gave an example of setting these ground rules with referrals. If she's first meeting with someone as a courtesy, then during that second meeting, she'll say, if we meet again, you'll have to pay for that meeting. She will actually say, you're going to be writing me a very big check, because she wants to remind them that she's not doing this for free. By setting these rules of engagement, she's honored the relationship with her referrer, and she's done what she said she's going to do. But now there's a better understanding that if they're going to work together, there's going to be a price for it. Jamie said that you have to be a good steward of your business and work on instead of in your business. And you have to make sure to do the work to make sure that your business is working as efficiently and as effectively as possible. Let's get into action items. Carve out a CEO day for when you're going to work on your business. Have at least one day at the end of every quarter where you're going through all your measurables. Make a checklist of everything that you should be looking at. Look to see if you're finding yourself being the person who's too nice and is always making exceptions. Give yourself rules to follow so that you can be the financial advisor that you truly want to be. Read about toxic charity and see if this is a situation that you're in with the people in your life. Lastly, reach out to us at lifestyle@theperfectria.com to learn more about our memberships. That wraps up this week's recap. Thank you for joining me on today's Follow-Up Friday. Be sure to give us 5 stars wherever you're enjoying this podcast, and share this or any of our episodes with another advisor or a team member who you think might benefit from listening. And until next time, happy planning.
Hold on before we go. Something that you need to know. This isn't tax, legal, or investment advice. That isn't our intent. Information designed to change lives. Financial planning can make you thrive. Start today, don't think twice. Be a better husband, father, mother, and wife. The perfect RIA, the perfect